Hey everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Well, last week's lesson was a slow acoustic blues played with no accompaniment. And so you don't need a jam track, you don't need a band, you don't need another musician. All you need is a guitar and a pick and you're good to go. And so I got so much positive response from that lesson that I decided to create a follow-up. So that's what this week's lesson is. It's actually a part 2 to last week's. Now last week's lesson was lesson number ep065. This week's is ep066. So if you go to ActiveMelody.com, you'll be able to see last week's lesson. But anyway, you can take the two lessons now and play them back to back, and you have this really nice extended guitar solo. They're both played in the same key. They're both played the same tempo. So you can play. They're interchangeable too, the parts. So so it just really makes for an extended library of licks played in that same style. If you want to download the tablature for this week's lesson, you're going to want to go to ActiveMelody.com and look for ep066. You'll also be able to watch the part 2 video. So in this video, we're only going to break down the first half of what I played in the intro. But if you want to watch the second half, you'll go to ActiveMelody.com and look for ep066. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the guitar that I'm playing on, I always get questions. This is an Alvarez MPA-70. It's a little parlor guitar. It's a small-bodied guitar. It's great for blues. It's lightweight and portable, and it looks beautiful, and it sounds great. And you can just Google that, MPA-70, and you can find retailers that carry it. Alvarez also has other guitars that are also parlor guitars in different price ranges. So if this is in your price range, you can find one that is, and they're very affordable guitars. I'm not endorsed by Alvarez. I'm just mentioning that because I really like their products. I think they're great. So, okay. So the first thing I should mention is we are in the key of E, and that obviously this week's lesson is complementary to last week's. So if you want to even learn more of this, this kind of laid-back slow acoustic blues with a pick, you can go to last week's lesson. I've got a link on YouTube. I've also got a link on the page on ActiveMelody.com to last week's lesson. So we're in the key of E, as I mentioned, and the first thing that I'm going to play is this little lick. Real quick, where we're coming from, just so you know the boundaries that we're working within. We're playing in the key of E, so this is the E minor pentatonic scale. Now, minor pentatonic scale, if you want to know more, by the way, about what a minor pentatonic scale is, because I refer to that and I'll refer to pattern 1, I explain all of that at ActiveMelody.com. There's a blues lead course, so you want to look for that, and you can learn more. You can learn all about the minor pentatonic scale. But anyway, we're in pattern 1 here, and to know the pattern, the nut becomes our root fret, and I explain what the root fret is in that course. But the root fret, I always think of it if we're playing a bar chord. Obviously, when you're playing an E chord, the nut here would be where your finger would go. So that now we can sort of see where pattern 1 would be, and it would look like this. It would be right in that area. So the nut represents where your finger would be versus like if you're playing in G. You can see my finger goes down in all those places where the nut is. So hopefully that makes sense. So the first lick that I play is that. Now this note, which is the 3rd fret 1st string, I'll get into the fretting in just a second. But that makes sense because it's in the minor pentatonic scale, pattern 1, like we just described. But this note is not. So some of you are probably going, wait a minute. This note was not in that minor pentatonic scale. You'd be right, but it is in the major pentatonic scale for the key of E. And so and I cover this in several lessons, but there's this little sweet spot here where the major scale, the major pentatonic scale and the minor pentatonic scale overlap, and it allows you to jump back and forth between kind of happy tones and sad tones all in this one area, and it's really a cool place to play solos. So when I'm playing these two notes, this is the major pentatonic scale, meaning happy, or that's how I think of it, and this is the minor pentatonic scale, which is a little sadder. And you put the two together and you get this weird little clash. And it sounds kind of cool. Now you could do that in any key. So if we were in the key of G, you would do it up here. If you're in the key of A. But anyway, that's where that comes from. So now let's get into the specifics. And I do digress, but I think some of you appreciate that. All right, so the other thing I should mention when I'm playing that, you'll notice I'm not just playing it straight like this. I'm bending it and giving a little bit of pushing it sharp. So let's go over the fretted notes here. So the first thing to do is put your ring finger on the 3rd fret 1st string, and then you can take either your middle finger or your pointer finger and go down on the 2nd fret 2nd string to play those two notes. And you can see what I'm doing there. I'm pushing them, kind of pushing both of them up a little bit to push it a little bit sharp. Now I do that anytime I'm playing, if I'm playing the minor pentatonic scale and I'm at this point, this position in it, I always push that note sharp, always. I rarely ever just hit it straight, unless I'm, giving it some vibrato or something. But if I'm just hitting the note, passing along in a solo, I always push it sharp. So if you're in the key of A, so this is the 5th fret. Sorry, this guitar doesn't have fret markers, but you can hear how by pushing it sharp, it gives it kind of a really nice bluesy feel. So that's why I'm giving it that twang. So I'm using my pick and I'm doing downstrokes here on the 2 and 1 strings together. And so we're going to do 3 of them. Now after that, then I'm going to go. Now for that, I play the open 1 string, or the E string, but then I hammer on. As soon as I play it, I hammer on to the 2nd fret 1st string right away. And I use my middle finger for that. Notice I'm just doing a downstroke with my right hand. Now I'm going to do an upstroke with the open 1 string. Take my middle finger and push down on the 2nd fret 2nd string. And then and that's a downstroke, and then we're going to do another upstroke on the 1 string, the open 1 string. So see the alternate picking, down, up, down, up. Now, okay, so that's the opening lick. Now the way I did it, you can see when I get to that, instead of just playing the open 1 string, really what I'm doing, and I should have clarified this, is I go ahead at that point and play the E chord so that I can kind of do this upstroke and I can grab as many notes as I want. I can play all 6 of them if I want in that upstroke, because it's all in key. It's all in the key of E. So that'll be up to you. And I think when I played it in the intro, I think I just grabbed maybe the first 2 or the first 3. But that's what I'm doing. It's an upstroke, and as soon as you do that, you're in position to start this little bass part. So let's get to the bass part. As soon as you do the upstroke, we're going to do a downstroke on the low 6th string, which is a low E string. So we're going to do 2 of each of these. So watch this. We're going to do 2 6 strings, 2 of the open 6 string. Then we're going to take our ring finger. It's important to use your ring finger for this one. And start on the 2nd fret 6th string. And as soon as I pick it, I slide up to the 4th fret. And I play that twice. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I'm going to take my pointer finger and go down on the 2nd fret 5th string. 1, 2. And I do a hammer on here. I go. So I'm going to hammer on between this is both happening on the fifth string, but between the 2nd fret and the 4th fret, like that. As soon as I do that hammer on, I'm going to come up here and play this, which is an E note. So that's on the 2nd fret, 4th string. Okay, so the next thing that happens is this little lick. And that starts here, and I apologize for not having the fret markers, but where I've got these 2 fingers down, this is the 7th fret. So, get that, I guess just visualize that. This is the 7th fret. And what I do is I slide, so I'm playing strings 4 and 3, so those middle 2 strings there, and I just do a downstroke with my right hand, but and I've got my middle finger and my ring finger on those 2. And as soon as I play them, I'm going to slide them up 2 frets to the 9th fret. So this is the 9th fret. You can see this little design, that's the 12th, so you can count around. But so we're sliding up to the 9th fret from the 7th fret, but I'm playing 2 strings. It's a great little sound to do that, and that sounds great even with an amp with a lot of distortion. It gives you a nice kind of growl to play that lick. And as soon as I play that, I give it a little vibrato when I play it, and then I play. And for that, it's pretty easy to do because you're in these little boxes. And so we're going to go, but this is the 7th fret now, where my pointer finger is. So that's 7th fret, 3rd string. My ring finger is going to go down the 9th fret, 4th string. And we're back to the 7th fret, 3rd string. And then we're going to come back to the 9th fret, 4th string. And as soon as I play this, I'm going to slide it down right away to the 7th fret, 4th string. So we have... Now we're going to come down to the 5th fret, 4th string. 7th fret, 4th string. 5th fret, 4th string. You see how we're just bouncing back and forth. We're skipping. There's a fret in between that we're skipping. Then we're going to come back to the 5th fret, 4th string. And then we're going to land. The final note in that little run is on the 5th string, 7th fret. So this is the 7th fret. So... And the timing on this is important, so we have... Alright, so let me play up to that. I'll play from here. Let me loop it. So you can start to get the timing of this. Now watch the right hand when I'm doing this. It's just going down, up, is alternate picking it. Down, up. You can see how it's just weaving back and forth, back and forth. And anytime you're doing a bunch of consecutive notes like that, and you're picking them, you're going to want to alternate pick, where you're going down, up, down, up. The times when you don't is when you're doing like 2 strings at once, like that kind of Chuck Berry type stuff. Those tend to be done really with downstrokes. Alright, so after this, we're going to come back and play that low 6th string, and then I'm going to do this little chord thing. Now that is something we learned in the previous lesson. I was doing a lot of those. Jumping back and forth between the A chord and the E chord. So for that, we're going to start with the low 6th string, and then I use my ring finger to play. Really what I'm playing is strings 4, 3, and 2, and I'm barring those. I'm just barring the 2nd fret with my ring finger. So you're playing the low 6th, playing those 3 strings, back to the low 6th string. Then we come into position for the E chord, but take your pointer finger off so that you can hammer it on, just like that. So let me do that slowly. Hear how that hammer-on works? kind of building the chord that way. So together. Now that's what I do to complete the chord. After I hammer on that E, I leave the E chord there and just do another upstroke, grabbing the first 2 strings of the E chord. Actually, you can grab the first 3 strings. That's fine. Alright, so just to keep it, I like to do kind of keep backing up and covering this because I know there's a lot of stuff going on here. And the timing, I think, will be what gives you a fit, if anything. The fretted notes are fairly straightforward. Let's back up all the way to the beginning. So then we come to this part. And let's go over that. It's actually really easy to do. It sounds kind of like maybe it would be complicated, but it's not. So again, this is the 7th fret that we're looking at, and so I'm going to use my pointer finger on the 7th fret 1st string, and then I use my middle finger on the 8th fret 2nd string, and those 2 notes played together give you a really nice little twang. So we're going to just do with it 1 downstroke. We're going to play strings 2 and 1. Then I take my pinky for this. Now some of you may want to use your middle finger, or sorry, your ring finger, whatever's easiest. But I come up here to the 9th fret 1st string. So this is the 9th fret right here. So after you play those 2 together, and again push them slightly sharp if you can, we're going to come up here to the 9th fret 1st string. Then we're going to take our and then we're going to leave those 2. We're going to leave our pointer finger and middle finger on the fretboard for this. Notice those stay on the fretboard. So pinky on the 9th fret 1st string. Then we're going to remove our pinky, so we're back to the playing that, which is the 7th fret 1st string. That's the 8th fret 2nd string. So watch this. Now, after that, we're going to play the open 1 string, the open 2 string. Then we're going to come down and play the 2nd fret 3rd string. So we have, and then we're going to do a hammer on. We're going to play the open 3 string, or the open G string. We're going to do a hammer on to the 1st fret on the 3rd string. And then we're going to play the high 1 string after that, or the high E string. So let me play. Let's put it all together, this little part. See how it fits together? Now, the one thing I didn't really elaborate on, when we come back to that 8th fret 2nd string, push it slightly sharp. Hear that? Because when you push that sharp and then hit that 1 string, it kind of feels like it's flowing together. So that's what that little lick is. Okay, so we have. Now we're going to come to the A part. And for that, I just play open 6th string. We're going to slide from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret on the 6th string. And we did that, remember? We've already done that. Now we're going to come down, and I just go ahead and bar the first 4 strings on the 2nd fret, but I'm going to only play strings 5 and 4 and maybe 3, but really just 5 and 4. So after you play that low A, it's really kind of like a low power chord, and play 2 of them. Then I'm going to do this walk up, which sounds like this. And see the bar, it stays down the whole time. So there's that 5th string and 4th string, the open 5th string. Now I'm going to take my middle finger and come down to the 3rd fret 5th string. Ring finger to the 4th fret 5th string. So we have, keeping the bar down, we're going to come up now and play the open 4th string. Play 2 of those. Then I'm going to take my ring finger and come down on the 4th fret 4th string. Alright, so to this point with the A we have and then the next thing I play is, and for this we're going to take this is the 5th fret, so we're going to take our pointer finger and go down on the 5th fret 2nd string. Then I'm going to take my middle finger and go down the 6th fret 3rd string, and I'm going to slide into that, playing those 2 notes. We're still in the A part of the song. Now I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to come up here to the 8th fret 2nd string. That's where this is. And I'm only playing strings 3 and 2. I said again, I haven't actually said that. I'm strumming strings 3 and 2 using downstrokes with my pick. So 3 and 2, 3 and 2. Notice this just stays down. The only addition is the pinky. Now after this I come up here and go. So for that, it's easier for me just to use my pinky since it's already down here and just slide from the 8th fret 2nd string. I'm sliding up to the 10th fret. This is the 10th. So now I'm going to come back to the 8th fret 2nd string. So we have. Now I'm going to take my middle finger and come down on the 9th fret 3rd string. So we're going to go back and forth between the 9th fret and the 7th fret, and then back to the 9th fret, all in the 3rd string. So we have. And that's just downstroke, downstroke, down, up, down, up, down. So you can see once you start doing those single notes, it's down, up, alternate picking. Now, as soon as I hit that note, I'm going to come down and play the low E, the low 6th string. So let me go ahead and play through the A part. So we have. So when we hit that low 6th string, we're back. That sort of triggers your ear to let you know you're back to the E part. And so then what I do is that little chord build thing. We've already learned how to do that, so I'm not going to show you that one again. That's where you go to the A chord, do the hammer on to build the chord, do the upstroke. And then I went. So let's learn that. Really easy to do. I'm going to only play strings 1 and 2 to start this. So these are 2 downstrokes starting on the 2 string and then strumming 2 and 1. But I use my middle finger for this, and I start on the 3rd fret 2nd string. This is the 3rd fret 2nd string, and I'm going to slide up to the 5th fret 2nd string. So like this. So you can see I'm going up to the 5th fret, and I'm only playing strings 1 and 2. So this E string is kind of droning or ringing out. So you're going to go up to 5, slide back down to the 3rd fret, then you're going to play just the strings 1 and 2 open, like that. So then I take my middle finger and I come down on the 2nd fret 3rd string, and I play that note, and then I play the 2nd string open and the 1st string open. So like this. So we have, isn't that kind of nice? And then I round it out with another little hammer on from the 3rd string open, hammering onto the first fret there. As soon as I play that, I go ahead and hit that 1 string, the open 1 string again. Alright, so let's back up and let's play from the A part. We'll play up to where we're at. So okay, it's a lot. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to go to the B part, the B7th part. Now you could, in the previous lesson, I just went, did a walk up there. Now you could do that if you want, but what I played in the intro was just single notes, but they're arranged in a way that it lets the ear know what the chord change is. It's kind of nice. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm playing, I'm going to slide up to the 8th fret 3rd string. So this is the 8th fret right here, 8th fret 3rd string. Then my pointer finger goes down on the 7th fret 2nd string. But we're going to slide in, so that's the little shape. But we're going to slide into it like this. Slide into that 8th fret 3rd string. And I kind of start here. I guess this would be the 6th fret 3rd string. So we're going to go play that note. Then we're going to play the 7th fret 2nd string. Back to the 8th fret 3rd string. Back to the 7th fret 2nd string. Then I'm going to take my ring finger and come up here to the 9th fret 1st string. And then I'm just going to do this walk down like this. So it's just 9th fret 1st string, 8th fret 1st string, 7th fret 1st string. We're going to skip a fret and we're going to come to the 5th fret. This is the 5th fret. So let's put just that piece together. Let me do that again. And then I mirror that, but I'm going to come down 2 frets, at least the beginning part of it. So for this, we're going to slide up to the 6th fret 3rd string, starting at the 4th fret 3rd string. And then that's done with my middle finger. Then my pointer finger goes on the 5th fret 2nd string, and we're going to go back and forth between 3rd string, 2nd string, just like we did the first time. So we're going to go 3, 2, 3, 2. So remember the first time, second time. And so this is how we end this one. Now you could just mirror what you did the first time. You could go, and that would work too. That's kind of I thought about doing it that way, but I ended up doing. So let's do this. Let's learn this little bend here. So we're going to start here after that. That sets it up. Then we're going to come to the 7th fret 1st string and do a full bend as much as you can. It's harder on an acoustic guitar. And then we're going to come down and play the 7th fret 1st string, no bend. And then we're going to come down and play the 5th fret 1st string. That's where I am right here. So let's back up. We have, and then we're going to come down after we play the 5th fret 1st string. We're going to come back to the 7th fret, this time on the 2nd string, and do a bend, release. It's not a full bend, but it's a half bend. It's going to come down, land on the 7th fret 2nd string, and then the 5th fret 2nd string is your last note there. Then we're going to come back to the 6th fret 3rd string, and then the final note would be the 5th fret 2nd string. That's the timing of it. All right, so that's a lot to try and digest, but let's go back to the beginning of the A part. Now, as soon as I hit this note, since you're done with the little runs, it allows you to your left hand to sort of stay locked in place. So now I can come down with my right hand. I can come down and play the 6th string open, which is that low E string. Then I can play little turnaround part. Now this part is really easy because it starts here on the 3rd fret 2nd string, and you're only going to play strings 2 and 1. So you're going to play those, slide it down 1, so slide your fretted note on the 2nd string. Now we're down to the 2nd fret 2nd string. Now we're down to the 1st fret 2nd string. Take it off the fretboard. And just play open strings 1 and 2. So that's the walk down. It's nice. So you can use that any time you're doing a turnaround. It's really easy to do when you're playing it in the key of E. Alright, so let's back up. We have the B 7th part, then you have, that was the A part. Then we hit that low 6th string. Now we're going to come down and play. And now we do the turnaround chord at this point. So the turnaround chord is the B 7th chord. And real quick on the shape, middle finger down, 2nd fret 5th string, pointer finger down, 1st fret 4th string, ring finger down, 3rd fret 5th string. And then my pinky goes down on the 1st string on the 2nd fret. And that's really all there is to the first half of this solo, so the first part. So let me back up and I'll play everything really in this first part, so you have this as a reference.